At family dinner, Dad asked if my allowance was enough. When I said, "What allowance?" his face went white. Turns out Mom had been hiding the $2,000 monthly he'd been setting aside for me, sending it instead to my golden child sister for luxury shopping in Paris, while I worked until I collapsed from exhaustion. I've always been the responsible one. While my sister Melissa lived her best life studying abroad in Paris, I was grinding through community college and working double shifts at a diner. Dad travels for work most of the year, so I rarely see him. Mom's always been closer to Melissa, the golden child who could do no wrong. Last month, Dad came home for Thanksgiving. We were at dinner when he casually asked, "So Tyler, is the allowance enough? I know Paris is expensive for Melissa, but I want to make sure you're covered too." "What allowance?" The table went silent. Dad's face drained of color. "The $2,000 I've been sending every month for the past 3 years. My fork clattered onto my plate. "Dad, I've never received a single dollar." Mom laughed nervously. "Tyler, don't be dramatic. Of course you have. You're just confused." Dad pulled out his phone, scrolling through bank statements. Tyler James Chen, account ending in 4,739. $2,000 on the first of every month since you started college. That wasn't my account number. I slowly pulled out my phone and showed him my banking app. Checking balance, $247. My hands were shaking. "That's not my account, Dad." Mom's face went pale. She started stammering about how she must have mixed up the numbers, how it was an honest mistake, how she'd fix it right away. But Dad was already on his laptop, pulling up the account details. The name on the account was mine, but the email and phone number? Mom's. She'd opened a fake account in my name and had been pocketing $72,000 over 3 years. "Where's the money, Patricia?" Dad's voice was ice. Melissa, who'd been silent, suddenly spoke up. "Mom, you said that was emergency family savings." Mom shot her a look that could kill. Too late. Dad turned to Melissa. "What emergency family savings?" Melissa's face crumbled. "The money for my apartment upgrade, and the designer clothes, and the trip to Monaco." Mom said it was family money you both agreed on. The truth spilled out like poison. Mom had been funneling my allowance to Melissa while watching me work myself to exhaustion. While I survived on ramen and pulled all-nighters between shifts, Melissa was living in a luxury apartment in Le Marais, posting Instagram stories from Michelin star restaurants. I'd collapsed at work 2 months ago from exhaustion and malnutrition. Spent a night in the ER. Mom visited once, told me I needed to manage my time better, then left to FaceTime Melissa about her birthday plans. Dad stood up slowly. "Pack your things, Patricia. We'll discuss divorce terms with lawyers." Mom exploded. "You can't be serious. It's not like Tyler needed it. He's fine. Look at him." Melissa needed support in a foreign country. Tyler collapsed from working too hard because he thought he had to do everything alone, Dad said quietly, while you gave his money to fund Melissa's lifestyle. The next morning, Dad closed the fake account and opened a new one in my name only. He transferred not just the $72,000, but added another $50 as an apology. "I should have verified. I'm sorry, son." Within a week, he'd filed for divorce. Turned out, this wasn't Mom's first financial betrayal. Dad's forensic accountant found she'd been skimming from joint accounts for years. Melissa had to come home from Paris. Couldn't afford rent without Mom's secret pipeline. She showed up at Dad's new place, where I was staying, demanding I share my money since we're family. I looked at her Louis Vuitton luggage, her Chanel bag, her designer everything, and said, "That money's going toward finishing my degree and paying off the medical debt from when I collapsed. You know, from working myself into the ground while you lived like an heiress on my dime." She tried crying to Dad. He told her to get a job. Mom's been calling nonstop, saying I ruined the family, that I'm selfish for not sharing with my sister, that Dad's being cruel over a misunderstanding. I haven't answered. I'm too busy finally sleeping more than 4 hours a night, eating actual meals, and planning my transfer to a 4-year university. Some betrayals you don't come back from. Turns out, $72,000 of theft while watching your kids suffer is one of them.